The Taiwan-born Ang Lee rapidly established himself in the 1990s as one of the world's most versatile filmmakers. Moving on from the trilogy of movies about Chinese families that made his name to Jane Austen's England, Sense and Sensibility, and Richard Nixon's America, The Ice Storm. If he revisits a place or genre, it's to tell a very different story. A martial arts movie in medieval China, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, is followed by a spy thriller in wartime Shanghai, Lust, Caution. And a western with a US Civil War background, Ride with the Devil, is succeeded by a western about a gay relationship in present-day Wyoming, Brokeback Mountain. He adopts different styles to fit his new subjects, and while there are certain recurrent themes, among them the disruption of families and young people facing moral and physical challenges, there are no obsessive concerns of the sort once considered a necessity for auteurs. He has a fastidious eye for a great image, but he also has a concern for language. His magnificent new film is a version of Yann Martel's Booker Prize-winning novel, Life of Pi, adapted by an American writer, David Magee, whose previous credits were films set in England during the first half of the 20th century, Finding Neverland and Miss Pettigrew Lives for a Day. From its opening scene of animals and birds strutting and preening themselves in a sunlit zoo to the final credits of fish and nautical objects shimmering beneath the sea, the movie has a sense of the mysterious, the magical. This effect is compounded by the hallucinatory 3D, and in tone the film suggests Robinson Crusoe rewritten by Lawrence Stern. Life of Pi is a 2012 adventure drama film directed and produced by Ang Lee and written by David Magee. Based on Yann Martel's 2001 novel of the same name, it stars Suraj Sharma, Irrfan Khan, Rafe Spall, Tabu and Adil Hussain in lead roles. The storyline revolves around two survivors of an oceanliner shipwreck. One is a 16-year-old Indian boy named Pi Patel, Suraj Sharma, and the other is a ferocious Bengal tiger named Richard Parker that are on a lifeboat stranded in the Pacific Ocean for 227 days. The film began development shortly after the release of the book and would see directors M. Night Shyamalan, Alfonso Cuarón, and Jean-Pierre Jeunet involved at various stages before the hiring of Lee. Filming was split between India, Taiwan, and Montreal in 2011, with Rhythm and Hugh Studios, R&H handling the visual effects work. The film had its worldwide premiere as the opening film of the 50th New York Film Festival at both the Walter Reed Theatre and Alice Tully Hall in New York City on September 28, 2012. Life of Pi became a critical and commercial success, earning over $609 million worldwide. It was nominated for 3 Golden Globe Awards, including Best Picture, Drama, and Best Director, and won the Golden Globe Award for Best Original Score. At the 85th Academy Awards it had 11 nominations, including Best Picture and Best Adapted Screenplay, and won 4, including Best Director for Ang Lee. Now I'm explaining movie plot. In Canada, a young writer meets a middle-aged Pi Patel. The writer has been told that Pi's life story would be a good subject for a book. Pi tells the writer the following story about his life. Pi's father names him Piscine Molitor Patel after Piscine Molitor, a famous swimming pool in France. In secondary school in Pondicherry, he adopts the Greek letter Pi as his nickname to avoid bullying. He is raised in a Hindu family, but at 12 years old, he is introduced to Christianity and then Islam, and decides to follow all 3 religions as he just wants to love God. His mother supports his desire to grow, but his rationalist father tries to secularize him. Pi's family owns a zoo, and Pi takes interest in the animals, especially a Bengal tiger named Richard Parker. After Pi gets dangerously close to Richard Parker, his father forces him to witness the tiger killing a goat. When Pi is 16, his father announces that they must move to Canada, where he intends to settle and sell the animals. The family books passage with the animals on a Japanese freighter. During a storm, the ship founders while Pi is on deck. He struggles to find his family, but a crewman throws him into a lifeboat. A freed zebra jumps onto the boat with him, breaking its leg. The ship sinks into the Mariana Trench, drowning his family. Pi briefly sees what appears to be a survivor, but it turns out to be the tiger, Richard Parker. After the storm, Pi awakens in the lifeboat with the zebra and is joined by a resourceful orangutan. A spotted hyena emerges from under a tarpaulin covering half of the lifeboat and snaps at Pi, forcing him to retreat to the end of the boat. The hyena kills the zebra and later the orangutan. Richard Parker emerges from under the tarpaulin, killing the hyena before retreating back to cover for several days. Pi fashions a small raft from flotation vests which he tethers to the lifeboat, to which he retreats for safety from Richard Parker. Despite his moral code against killing, he begins fishing, enabling him to sustain the tiger as well. When the tiger jumps into the sea to hunt for fish and then comes threateningly towards Pi, Pi considers letting him drown, but ultimately helps him back into the boat. One night, a humpback whale comes too close to the boat, destroying the raft and its supplies. Pi trains Richard Parker to accept him in the boat, and realizes that caring for the tiger is also helping keep himself alive. Weeks later they encounter a floating island of interconnected trees. It is a lush jungle of edible plants, freshwater pools, and a large population of meerkats, enabling Pi and Richard Parker to eat and drink freely and regain strength. At night, the island transforms into a hostile environment. Richard Parker retreats to the lifeboat while Pi and the meerkats sleep in the trees. The water pools turn acidic, digesting the fish in them. Pi deduces that the island is carnivorous after finding a human tooth embedded in a flower. Pi and Richard Parker leave the island, eventually reaching the coast of Mexico. Pi is saddened that Richard Parker does not acknowledge him before disappearing into the jungle. He is rescued and brought to a hospital. Insurance agents for the Japanese freighter company interview him, but do not believe his story and ask what really happened. He tells a different story, in which the animals are replaced by human survivors, his mother for the orangutan, an amiable sailor for the zebra, and the ship's brutish cook for the hyena. In this story, the cook kills the sailor and feeds on his flesh. He also kills Pi's mother, after which Pi kills him with a knife and uses his remains as food and fish bait. The insurance agents are dissatisfied with this story, but they leave without questioning Pi further. The writer recognizes the parallels between the two stories, noting that in the second version Pi is actually Richard Parker. Pi says that it does not matter which story is the truth because his family still died either way. He then asks which story the author prefers, and the author chooses the first, to which Pi replies, "And so it goes with God." Glancing at a copy of the official insurance report, the writer reads aloud that Pi survived his great adventure in the company of an adult Bengal tiger. I hope you would have enjoyed the plot. So, after 3,000 young men auditioned for the film's lead, in October 2010 Lee cast Suraj Sharma, a 17-year-old student and an acting newcomer. Upon receiving the role, Sharma underwent extensive training in ocean survival, as well as in yoga and meditation practices to prepare for the part. 2 months after Sharma was cast, it was announced that Gerard Depardieu would play the role of the cook. Irrfan Khan would play the adult Pi, and Adil Hussain would play Pi's father, while Tabu was in talks to play the role of Pi's mother. Life of Pi has an 86% approval rating on the review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes based on 253 reviews with an average rating of 7.90 out of 10. The website's critical consensus reads, "A 3D adaptation of a supposedly unfilmable book." Ang Lee's Life of Pi achieves the near impossible. It's an astonishing technical achievement that's also emotionally rewarding. On Metacritic, the film has an average score of 79 out of 100, based on 44 reviews, indicating generally favorable reviews.